Hi, this is Greg. And so today I'm going to do something really cool. I'm actually going to go ahead and work on a 7 train. This is some of my prototypes I was working on with the 7 train. This is a 7 train known as the R1. Sorry, here I can see it. This is the R. Hmm, okay. It's known as the R1. So R188. R188. Right. This R188 train, and this is the type of vehicle. I wanted to do this one. There's other trains, but this is the train that I'm going to use for my video. What I'm doing today, I'm going to translate these images. I use some of my paints here, and I've determined what I wanted to do was I want to make it into a two piece of art. I'm going to do one is a portrait, and so I made the size of a canvas, as you can see, a canvas size. And what I did was that I actually placed it here and use that as a reference to make it for this canvas. And the other was I made it as big as possible, because what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a combination of using my sculpture art with that of my flat art, 2D art. So 2D and 3D art are going to mesh. And so what I'm going to do is that I actually went ahead and did the drawing. I took this as a reference and the reference from the pages, and I turned this into a picture. So you have the actual picture here. And how this is actually fitted, so it actually could fit right here. Um, right here, so it actually fits the same. Let me turn a little bit so you can see it. Right, that's not here. You can see a little bit. There is the actual like picture that fits in with the same kind of like almost it lines up almost to the same. I didn't make it exactly because I wanted to catch through some of the details. So it will not be if I did it exactly. Because see how it fits exactly here, it won't fit exactly into the picture. You see, so I had to actually just kind of embellish and push this up into it a little bit more. That way I can actually get it completed. Because what I'm going to do, I'm going to take one of the images that I made, and I'm going to go ahead and turn it into a 2D and a 3D sculpture. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm actually going to go ahead and start painting this one. I'm going to start painting this image here. And I'm using the new tripod that was given to me. I was at the airport working at my job, and a customer was going to throw away this beautiful tripod. I'll show you the tripod real quick if you haven't seen it on my Instagram. What happens, I'll show you how this tripod looks. It's actually a folding tripod. I'm gonna break it down so you can see it. And this tripod here, it looks like this, right? This tripod looks like this. Is a pretty cool tripod, and it becomes a selfie stick. It has a selfie stick type aspect to it. It also has a thing where you can take button pictures. You take this part can come out, and it becomes like a long distance thing. So a long distance thing. So if you want to go ahead and take a picture, you can do that. And also, what's great about it is that this part here, this part was a broken part that I had to fix. So I had to fix this part myself, which is not too bad. I went to the store and I found the piece, and I used one of my old tripods, the handles for that, to be able to do this. So when hi, who asks? I don't. So anyway, so what happens is this: I'm going to be part of a an art event this weekend, and so to submit my art, I have to get it there. But this is what holds the cell phone, which I'm using to videotape this, and then this part here can locate a camera, so I can actually put one of my cameras in there. So my camera, this one here's my camera I usually use. This is the camera I usually use whenever I make my videos. This is my Hitachi camera. That's a cinema res camera that I use. I've used this for many years. And what happens is that this I can actually attach to here, but I have to screw it in, screw it in like so, screw it in like so to attach it, right? And that way I can attach it like into the thing, and I can actually place the thing here, the camera right there. Well, that's why I can have it, and I can actually look at the camera and have it look back at me, so that I can actually be like on like a regular TV person, kind of thing. So I can have the camera ahead of me, and I could read the prompter. I could look at different things, and do a teleprompter thing. But I usually just don't use a teleprompter. I'm actually just using it live. But this is my camera, my really cool camera. The battery's not in it right now, but I'm just using the cell phone to document this. So I'm just gonna go ahead and turn it back to what it was. And it also folds down really flat. So these legs actually telescope. They telescope and they open, but also they seal up. And the person was going to throw this away, and I was like, "This is such a wonderful thing," because what happens is that as a thing, I'm able to take this and make it become a selfie stick, and I can use it as a selfie stick to tell my story and to be able to, to figure out all the details there. Anyway, so long story short, what's happened is I got to put my phone down for a second. So let me see if I could just go ahead and reposition it real quick. I'm going to start painting this. Hello, Jalen, and hello, Hyper Melik. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to see. I'm just going to tie this up here real quick. And so what happens is, like, I'm getting a phone call right now. Of course, you get a phone call right in the middle of when you try to do something. So I'll try to see if I can just get this thing situated. So I'm going to have to put the phone down for a second. Okay, I'm just going to rest it here for a second. And I want to put it away that you'll see stuff that I'm doing. All right, so there's something to go ahead and just, thank you, Jalen. I'm going to place this down so it actually sits still. I'm going to place this down so I can put the feet upon it. And I'm going to rest it back to how it was before. I'm going to start working on the art pieces. All right, let's start working on the art pieces. And so here's what happened. I'm gonna put it back in this position, and here it is as before. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm actually gonna color this right now, and there it is. Now I have my hands free. I got my hands free where I can actually just have this focus because now it's back on the tripod. Make sure this thing stays steady, and it locks in place. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and start coloring the colors of the train. So what I did was I took I started writing down the details for it so that you can actually see what ones and what colors it's going to be. That way I don't have to, it's going to be red, it's going to be black, 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 right? And the letters are going to be red, so I'm going to put R there. And so it's very simple colors. It's going to be like black, going to be black, going to be red, and going to be silver. And there's one more for yellow. Yellow for the lights. The yellow for the lights and white. So we're going to go ahead and jump to that and start painting. So let's go ahead and do that right now. I just want to say thank you everybody who's here watching my video today at this time. Pretty much today's like one of my days off that I have from work, and so I'm able to kind of work on some of my projects. This one is due on Friday, and so I have to get this done by Friday. I have another event tomorrow I'll be partaking, and so what I'm going to do, I'm starting off with the black. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with the windows. I'm not going to use what's that word? Marker. Usually I use a marker kind of to work it out, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this here like so, and go ahead. And I use a lot of dry brushing, but I might just add some water to it just to make sure it can stretch a little bit better, you know. Alright, so I get some water, and what we're going to do, I'm going to raise it just a little bit higher so you can see a little bit better, because this can go really high. So I'm really glad about how this works out. You can actually see a little bit more, and as long as it holds steady, it's great. It has 4 legs instead of 3, which is great for details. Hopefully I can use that. I can make the colors go further. Some of the problems I find when you do any kind of this art is that when you mix colors, you have a hard time getting the colors mixed back rightly, So that's something there. To mix it correctly once you've actually done it is very difficult. What I'm saying is that to mix it again to get it back to the same consistency, the same texture is very difficult. So you have to make enough of it on the first try to make sure that your art is complete. Alright, there's also silver, so we'll start off with the black and we'll work the silver around it. Alright, it's always good to work the edges first. Well, let's just talk about some stuff in the meantime. This is one of the trains. I remember when I first learned how to travel by train. These are the trains that I used able to go and travel like on my own. When I first started traveling on my own, like with the trains, this was the first train to travel because it's the one nearest to where I live. With that, I was able to go to some of my favorite places when I was younger. Try to go to like the pet shops and to go to Toys R Us and stuff and go look at stuff. See, I didn't have money, but I always have an idea what I'd want to get. So what I'd do, I'd take the money I would get from my lunch and I would save it, or I'd eat only half of it, and I'd take the other half, I'd save it, and then I'd use that money to buy whatever I wanted to buy. And I was into collecting Spider-Man at the time. I was a big time Spider-Man collector, And I remember when I really, the heyday of it was, I really started, was in 1993. Um, I keep getting this all messed up, but it's like I can't remember exactly if Jurassic Park is 93 or 94, and I want to say 93. So that would make it like, so many years of Jurassic Park because I went to see it. But anyway, so I started my Spider-Man collection back in 1993. I know that for sure because I was collecting them and collecting them and collecting them, all different ones. And I wasn't really that great of a collector per se, because what happened was like I was just doing the collector thing because I liked it. I like it. I went to the store and bought one comic book, and the comic books weren't that expensive then. It was like $1 something, you know, back in '93, and the price started going up to the point where I started getting like collections and things like that, collections of them. But it was like when I collected them, I learned so much about how expensive comic books are, and I wouldn't read them. I would just, because when I was younger, my sister, older sister, was like, she's like, Greg, you shouldn't open your comic books or something, or not comic book. You shouldn't play with the Voltron. So what I did was I didn't play with the Voltron. I did. I actually played with the Voltron. I didn't listen to her. And by what happened was that my whole take on it was I didn't it got damaged and destroyed, and later they're all like in scrap heaps somewhere because like when I went to college, all my toys were taken and I don't know where they went to. So maybe that's the reason why I started making all my own stuff now, because I could make stuff, I could recreate things. But the bottom line was like during that time, I had to just I had stuff that I bought, and so I would just start to buy things and I wouldn't open them up because I would say like, what's the purpose of opening up something when you can actually just keep it on the shelf? So I went to a whole situation of having a collection of comic books and a collection of action figures that I didn't open up to so for example, yet I've had them since 1983. I had a plethora of comics, and then when I went to college and I came back from college, we started doing the business of doing eBay and stuff. We would sell things on eBay, the eBay arbitrage, where you'd buy something for low and you'd sell it for high. And that's why I got the majority of my comic books. We went to a warehouse over in Queens that was closing out, and they had a ton of comic books. I got like a huge stack of comic books for like $100 or something like that. It was a huge stack, and we paid a good piece of money for it. I think more than 100. And it was like when we got it, it was one of those things that you know um, it was great. I totally absolutely loved it. I absolutely totally loved it because one of the things was that when I got comics from all over, comics from all around different places that was like totally just cool. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the greatest thing in the world to have all these comic books. And so I finally started reading some of them, and majority of my comic books were still Spider-Man, and I didn't know stuff like I do now. And then when the movie came out, when Spider-Man came out in 2002, the Spider-Man, Sam Raimi Spider-Man. When that came out in 2002, that was great because I really got into the whole Spider-Man thing. I mean, I knew about his life and stuff. I watched the show, the 1992 Spider-Man, the comic books and stuff, the animated series. They had the animated series. I think it was like 97 or something. I'm not sure exactly. 90. Because I know Batman, the animated series, was 92. 93, I think, was Jurassic Park. And then they had I have to look it up and see when it was the animated series for Spider-Man, because that was so cool. I'd watch Spider-Man, and it had different things. It always had music playing in the background, whereas like the Batman one didn't have music playing in the background. It was always like usually quiet, you know. And I noticed how like really just focused it was, and like really kind of the way they had the gravity of the Batman the animated series. That was great. They did a real good job with that. So anyway, so what happens for me was I loved the whole thing about just traveling and being able to go places, and this represents to me traveling, because I'm gonna put a masking tape sculpture with this, and so it's gonna be a combination of art that I'm gonna work on, and so with that, I'm just really happy to do this. I'll be working with later, and I'm gonna be doing more art and see if I want to get this one done, because this one is the most like direct. I have to make some more art pieces and people and fix some things and stuff. And tomorrow I'm going to be in the city. But for the most part, though, this is me just kind of working on the black part of it. I'm going to go ahead and just do some more. I'm going to use a red in a second and see if I can get that my darks just right and even. Because sometimes, some of my problems I have with art is that I am not that great with my painting, but I'm really good with the sculpting. So I have to kind of strengthen that muscle. Okay, so this is one part, and this part also here is black, so I just got to go here with that, and it's also red, so I have to just go through. I thought about actually making a different color right there, just so it has a little bit of a difference, but I thought, okay, no, let me just keep to the train. So this is what happens is like I'm just kind of trying to get all the major outlines done. Then I'm gonna let it dry for a little bit. Guys do this thing with making the lights shine, and I hope to do the same kind of thing when I do the markers. I don't know, maybe I might do it, maybe it might work out, but it's like a neon when they make it glow, and they do such a wonderful job, with the way they do these things, these graffiti guys. I might have to look at that before I complete this, but I hope to kind of do the major blocking of it. So this part's going to be silver, that part's going to be silver. I guess it's black there until the end for the rim, and it's going to be white for the thing. But I'm going to switch to red in a little bit. So I see that just kind of adding a little bit of water to it makes it smoother and makes it work really well. So the Lord shall fight for you. The Lord will fight for you. So pretty much, I I'm looking forward to. Oh goodness, I have to unstrip the paint. Seems like stripping it. All right, let's look at that real quick to make it just easy. All right, so then this one, when I get this one done, I'm gonna be really excited because I get a chance to do the next part, which is like I get a chance to I get to do attach the creature to this train, and I want to keep that a surprise. So maybe in the thumbnail I might have it, but for the most part though, this is going to be a surprise as to what creature until I do the big reveal on Saturday when I submit the art. See, I thought about doing it on an even bigger one. I mean, I can actually do it on a bigger canvas, but the thing is, like, the thing about space is this: when you do certain art, you have to have art is about space. I mean, the bigger the canvas, the more stuff you can do for real. But I just wanted to just do a little something that's different because I'm gonna be breaking the fourth wall with this one. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that and see how that goes. So let's see that. Just make sure. I have to go over and give it another coat afterwards so that the paint's even. Do a second coat. So I mean, I could have actually just kind of blocked it out and just did it this way, but I find that this is probably best because when you do it this way, you can actually I'm gonna be able to I'm gonna do the red next. The red color next. All right, so we're gonna do that one. That. I'm just gonna get this soak in there for a little bit. I'm gonna do red because red is a color. I think it's a combination. It's like red, and because you put like white with it, it causes it to pop. Now I hope that this marker doesn't. This brush is able to handle this. All right, so let's see how it does. Okay, so let's go with the red. Let's go with all the red stuff. All right. There's red. And this shouldn't take me too long. I shouldn't be doing this for such a long time. I just have a couple of things to do. Let's just make sure the red. Okay, the red looks like it's good. And the brush looks like it's taking the red real well. All right, let's see that. Okay. I'm gonna put the red. It's red here. This is red. So this is the 7 train. This is the numbers for the 7 train. It's the R188. It's a 7 train, and it's pretty much I was just doing this because it's part of my presentation I'm going to be doing this weekend. I'll be going to a place called the Flushing Town Hall, and there I'll be submitting my art this Friday to them. And so what I'll be doing there is, hopefully I got it right. I wouldn't just mess it up. Hmm. The thing is, like, I can't really look at it at this point. Okay, well, there's black and there's red. There's red numbers. The numbers on the top is red. All right, so right there, I lift it up and look at it that way. Number is red. So I'm gonna go ahead and just do that there. And then also the brackets is red, but the majority of it is black. So I just want to do this, and then go here, and then just get this part here. Because when you have this as a triangle, that means this is an express train. When it's a circle, it means that it's a regular train. An express train, what it means is that it skips stops. Like on the way during a certain time, the train will go express travel to the location it's supposed to go. So, for example, you want to get to the city faster, you take the express train. But the express train only stops at certain platforms. So you have to know which platform is the express train, and then from there you load to the train. You get on the train, or you get to the go from a local train to an express platform, and from the express platform you travel to the train of your choice. And so when you go there, you're able to get to where you want to get to pretty quickly. You know. Now I just can't remember if this part is red, if that part is red, and that part. I know this part here is going to be silver and black, a lot of black. And probably might just make it gray just for difference, make a little difference. But I'll have to do the door itself is silver, and this right here is black. So, but that part I know is yellow, and I'm not entirely sure if there's like a if it goes all the way and it becomes like black again. So I have to check that thing, and I can't do that with the phones on. So I have to check it. I'll have to put the Wi-Fi on my phone and do the Wi-Fi thing. And I hope it didn't like pause me for a second. Mobile hotspot, and go back to the video and see if I can get the mobile hotspot open, right? And then from there, I'm gonna have to kind of look on my phone. You know, I wish I could just press it for a second. I might end up like pausing it. I don't want to pause the video, but I guess I can't pause for a second. Okay, it is all the way red, so it's red all the way. Mm-hmm. Okay, add some to the paint can. So you make it nice and smooth. Red. Red is the color of the blood that flows. There's a Petra song that has that, and it's pretty much just talks about the different colors. It's called a coloring song. It's a pretty cool song. It talks about Jesus, and then Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. Okay, so we have this here. I wanted to just kind of show you this. So this is how it is with the red. Gonna see if I can just get the more colors done. See if I can just get these strong lines, from being separated. I'm gonna see if I can just have it like less pronounced. I have to just add some more water to it and just kind of even it out some, so it's not like you can actually see the. I have to use a softer brush actually. Let me see if I switch my brushes to a softer brush. I find that this one I had never quite used so much. Just like this thing brush. I know a friend of mine, he swears by this brush. This is the one he does when he makes these really cool patterns. Give this one a try. Let's see how it works. And so yeah, I absolutely love my job. I love it, and it's apparently people don't know I have a job, so that's cool. I like how that works. I just kind of told the whole world, but those of you who are watching will know. Those of you who don't watch or miss that won't see. But I'm glad to be able to have it, and I do it. And I am just trying to figure out how to use this fan brush. This fan brush is phenomenal, but it just kind of pulls the water, so I got to kind of wipe it. It's too much pulling. I have to kind of do it backwards. I don't want it to spill into anything else, but it is. It doesn't hold the water. It's very light. You just kind of just Just do this. Hope it makes it even, you know. So I'm holding it down as opposed to having it upright because I wanted to just kind of see how that will actually turn out, you know, without the water pooling or dripping or working with gravity or density. But instead, what happens is that you're kind of like I'm just kind of doing it this way and seeing if I could just get it to even itself out without having to pronounce the pronouncements of stuff. And worst case scenario, I could always come back and do it more, you know. But let me just see if I can just get it nice and good, nice and even. So today's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Today's the 30th, the last 30th of the year. All right. Next colors I'm going to use is the silver. I might just make it silver just to kind of mix it up and tear up the this is neutral. This is neutral gray, right? Neutral gray, and then this one here is silver. So I'm gonna use Artist Loft, and I'm gonna go ahead and just paint the silver parts of the train. Right, so I'm gonna raise it up a little higher so you can probably see it a little better. All right, so this I'm using that new tripod that was given to me, and I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this brush. See, the thing is, like, you're supposed to have your brushes up, and I have my brushes down, so I gotta work on that, get better with that. So what I'm gonna use silver. I'm using another brush for silver, this one here, and I'm gonna use a silver brush to paint this here because I'm gonna have my design pop. It's gonna pop out with all the cool stuff in it. I already mapped it out and drew it, so it's looking pretty good already. But here we're gonna use not neutral gray, put this one away. Use the silver. I thought about making a contrast with it, but you know, painting is actually quite difficult. It really is. So this is my silver paint. I'm gonna put it over here where all my paints are, so that way I can have an easy cleanup later. I'm gonna put silver right next to the gray. You didn't see that, but I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna kind of show you what I just did. Right there, I put the silver right next to the black. See a black, red, silver, or red, black, silver. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. And silver, it starts off not so pronounced, and then it becomes pronounced. And then when I get the silver done, I'll be pretty much done with this for now until I add the yellow. So let's add the silver. I have it marked with silver, so it's going to be here. So let's go here. Probably going to have me some nice breakfast. And I had a pretty rough night last night, but overall I slept pretty well. And I was talking about the whole Spider-Man thing, but I'll come back to that. I slept pretty well, had a pretty good night in terms of sleep. I woke up super early this morning because I usually wake up super early to go to work. And so I just, got up early, and I hope I didn't like sabotage my day, like waking up early like I normally would for work. But so instead, what I end up doing is just kind of stayed up and like started getting myself ready, and I started preparing this thing here. I got some food and started eating it. What I was trying to do was going to go ahead and see if I can actually make well, I started making this thing for the R188 trains, 188 trains, and see if I could actually just do that, get it all set up. So when I get ready to do it, and I wasn't sure if I was going to videotape it because I sometimes when you're doing art, you can't really focus and talk at the same time. But I said to myself, I want to give it a shot. See if I can actually do this. Just kind of talking. I'm doing this for like the first time. I've never done this before. While I'm painting the train cab and making the train cab look like really cool. It's going to be silver and shiny when this part gets done. And so that's kind of the cool part about it. And so yeah, so I reached the monetization threshold on my YouTube, and so pretty much it's just a matter of time. I'm going to continue to raise the money up on it, and that's been really cool. Been getting like super chats and getting money and being able to have that. So this is going to be the second time I'm going to get paid from YouTube, and I'm really excited about that because it's like it's great. I don't know, some people actually get monetized faster than I do, and I'm just glad that I have an opportunity to have that. Just this channel where I can do art, and I like that. So again, if you just like what you see, please feel free to give me a thumbs up and a like, or write me in the chat and have a dialogue with you. Because what happens is that I'm just trying to make sense of all this stuff here, and what I'm doing is trying to see if I can just make this. I'm making a 2D and a 3D sculpture. So here, this is the background. This is my background I'm making right now for my sculpture. And I'm going to make a sculpture be part of this here. So this is one of the things that I'm doing. And so what's happened, I had to just mark it. I know I put black for this colors here, but I didn't want it to disappear into the black. I thought maybe I'd just highlight it with black, give it the edges. Going to go through with a pen and just kind of like mark it so that the edges stay nice and crisp, you know, better than how I'm doing this right now. But usually whenever I do like art like this, I really enjoy just how the whole process is. Especially with silver. Silver is one of my favorite things to paint with because I like how it starts off like just gray and then becomes shiny over time. And that to me is very, very wonderful. So I have it all marked down here as well. So I have the parts that I'm going to go ahead and going to identify with or just not emboss, but just kind of detail out so you can actually see the details of it when I go over it with a pen. I'm going to wait for that to dry so I can do that. But here's pretty much all the surfaces have been painted with the train. This is what the train is. Thank you so much for liking me. Thank you for giving me the thumbs up. I appreciate that. So what happens is like I'm going to go ahead and do the yellow now. Okay, this is yellow, all right? And the yellow is that one, and white. So I'm going to give the little yellow for the train set. So see, every little boy wants a train set when they're growing up. My thing with Legos, I always wanted to have a Lego train set. I always wanted to have one of those kind of things, and I can never afford it. It was always out of my price range. I remember it's like the first time I saw one, it was like $202. I remember that number. It was like the number was 202, and I was like, I was a little kid. I was like, when I started with Legos, I was back in '87 and stuff. 87, 88 was when I had my Legos, and kids have love for Lego when they're like really young. And I mean, I loved Legos growing up. I never got a Technic set, a set called a Technique. I always wanted one of those. But anyway, the closest thing I ever got to that was building models. Building models, like I built like airplanes and stuff like that. My uncle, oh goodness, my uncle. What happened was that he had a scenario where my uncle had a thing where he bought me an SR-71. That became my favorite plane, the SR-71 Blackbird. And that was so cool. I love that plane so much. It was like because it's the fastest plane in the world, and it's like it's built so it can actually it's built so you can actually outfly missiles and stuff. And it's the fastest plane. And it goes Mach 3 point. Oh goodness, is it Mach 3.4? I can't remember now. Goodness, but anyway, one of my favorite planes. I gotta look it up. I think I have a book here. Birds of Prey. Somewhere on my shelf. Yep, here it is. My Birds of Prey book. This book here, right? This is a book called Birds of Prey, right? And this book was such a wonderful book for me. It's actually part of when I had my the Amiga computer, Amiga 500. This is the book, right? And so it's right there on the top is the SR-71, right? And see, I like machines. I like how machines work and how they operate. I think machines are really cool. They do what they're supposed to do. That's the whole thing with the whole car situation. That's why I had the best car in the world, right? I had the best car in the world. So now it's like the car that I have now is not. I mean, I just have to get used to it, I guess. But for the most part, though, it's like it's a car. But this one here, you have like the SR-71. I'll show you some of the specs from it. So it has the different planes. It has the Russian planes and the SR-71 Blackbird. Oh, it's Mach 3.3. So there it goes. The SR-71 Blackbird, you're looking at, let's see, Lockheed SR-71 Blackbird. There's also the A-12, by the way. The A-12 is kind of like that, but it's like instead of 2 passengers, it's just a 1 passenger. The one they have in the Intrepid is called the A-12, but this is here is it's a Pratt & Whitney engines. You got Mach 3.31. Mach 3.31. That's how fast you can go. That's pretty cool. So this is the book Birds of Prey, and it's pretty much has all the little specs for different planes and things like that. So that's pretty cool. Different planes and the different ones that you can see. There's about 50 planes you get to fly. So you get to fly even not helicopters, but just this one. There's other games like that you can actually do and fly stuff. See, one day I learned that it hit me that of war, and so being like a weapon of war, and they defend and they can do stuff. You can travel with it, but also they are one of those things that they could eat a life. What it means yeet, it means can end a life, and that's something there, the ability to end something like a life. And I was just listening to this thing about teleportation. One of the guys, it was the science of science fiction, talking about teleportation and how teleportation, if you were to do it, how it would just require so much energy that people could not have. You would not be able to survive the take of it all, because what happens is it's so much energy, and it's you get a phone call drop. You ever had a phone call drop on you? Imagine that you have a whole person traveling through the phone line, and that's never good. That's not good at all. So you don't want that to happen. That's not what you want. right? So in the 7 train, you have the number, right? And this is express. And so I'm putting this here. I'm looking forward to this one completing because it's like this one is like it's not that difficult. It's just more difficult just to set it up and get it in position. What's difficult is, thank you. What's difficult is that you have it where you are trying to do something and then pause it and work on something else. So this is one project. I might just go ahead and do a sculpture after this because I have 3 sculptures. So what I might do, it depends on like pretty much everybody with me because right now, pretty much starting to stir and start our days. But for the most part though, it's like I'm just working on this thing here. I would like to do that like bright light thing without its markers. It's just so cool. But this is here. I'm gonna see if I can just kind of get it just right. And I know I'm going over the edge a little bit, but there you have it, right? There you have it. And it's so nice. It's so nice. It's so nice. I like this. So this is one of my first trains as a kid I would travel upon. And as I was traveling, I got to go all the places all over New York City. And this one here goes from Queens to Manhattan. And it only goes from Queens to Manhattan. This is the train that was always like the symbolic of going from where you are to where you want to be. And Manhattan was had museums, Museum of Natural History, my favorite museum. Had to get to the Hall of Science, you could take the train, and that was in Queens. To go to the pet shop, you had to go to like Astoria. There's like no pet shops in Astoria anymore. It's like except for the Petco, except for Petco, there is no trains in Astoria anymore. Oh well, no trains, any pet shops, and the Petco is over in Queens. So you have that one, and so that's that. And I'm gonna go with a marker. Let me see this right here. I guess if I add some more red, so put this aside. Let's see the red, the yellow, the red. Okay, I'm gonna see if I can make the red just kind of. I think it's actually no. Actually, the black kind of extends outwards. It's kind of one of these. I should go back with the black. Here's the black, right? And the black, gonna go ahead and just kind of push this up a little bit here, and then go from there and just kind of do one of these things. Just kind of go through and make it like this because it's kind of like tilted. It's not straight down the way it is for the train. It's tilted on the side, and this edge here, I just gotta make sure I get it nice and smooth, right? So this is also a proportion thing because like what I'm doing with the train, I'm trying to tell a story as I do this, but it's also one of those things where make sure I get this right. Okay, let's get this right. Get it nice and good, nice and smooth. All right there. But I'm also going to, because this is like reminiscence of my life. And I don't want to spoil all the details of what I'm going to do, but this is one of those things. So here you have a window, and the window is plain. Here you have the thing, and here's where the conductor usually sits. And he sits, they had it where, back in the day, they would have to switch from one side to the other, and that's as far as I know. I took a class to took the test to become a train driver, and I unfortunately I didn't get. Oh, I passed it, but I didn't get high enough to score right away. So it's one of those things in the government jobs. You get a job in the city, it takes you like for a long time for them to call you back. So sometimes you might get it right away, but they won't give it to you until it's like until it's way later. So you might apply for a job today, and you won't get a job in 3 years. So in the meantime, you have to work other jobs and survive somehow. And then when you do that, then you're able to go ahead and do all the cool stuff, that you want to do. So yeah, pretty much that's kind of the thing there. So I put it so all messages can be seen, I guess. I put all messages can all messages, yeah. So all messages are there. So okay, so what happens is like next part I lost track of the thing. It got eaten up by the silver. You see that? So now I have to make the black cables for the thing. Oh, I can still see it. It's there. Maybe it'll shine through a little bit when towards the end. All right, so I'll use the silver. I'll use the black. It's black as red. This is okay. I'm gonna use this one. This is the yellow. Use this one and very very delicately add those wire things that are in the train. See, I have to hold my hand against my hand to see if I can do this. Yeah, see if I can do this real quick. All right, so I'm almost done with this part. I'm gonna go ahead and switch to another part. So you might not be able to see the rest of it because it's gonna be like breakfast time. I'm gonna take a break for breakfast and have another breakfast, my second breakfast. And then what I'll do is that I will continue. But this here, let's make sure I get this right. Okay, so when I had this here, the lights wasn't there, right? There. So I have to make the little. Okay, I can still see it. So I got to like do it like this. Cause these things are the things that are like a. Just get it quick. I'll say it. All right, so we can do this real quick to fix this. This is the part of it where it connects the door. It's like a no pass kind of thing. It keeps people from walking out into the front of the train, like a Spider-Man movie. You have it where he was being suspended from the train. He was in front of the train, and this was the thing he was holding on to, or that was holding on to him, or he's holding on to it. Anyway, so what happened was but in the thing he didn't have that. He wasn't on the 7 train. I don't know what train he was on. That was kind of like he did a couple of shots from Chicago and stuff like that. And all of us who know New York, we know the train. So I mean, it was the 7 train at one point, but then the way they made it, it's like when he was on the ground trying to get caught up to the train, that was like the 7 train. But then, make sure I get this right. Yeah, that was the 7 train. So what happens is like when he got to the, the part where it's the end of the line, unless the end of the line for the end train, and that would be like over, like over in Steinway, Ditmars over there. That would be that part there. But what ends up happening is like they have him in the middle of the city. And then he gets taken from there like to Brooklyn. But so you know how it is. They're like, we don't care. We're gonna do whatever. And that's what ends up happening. They end up just kind of doing whatever they want with the video because that's what they do. That's what directors can do. They can direct it, and so it doesn't have to be real. The time doesn't have to be right. You don't have to be like we're watching the what movie? We're watching the How Now You See Me, and I was just sitting there doing all because I used to be a taxi driver. Right, and as a taxi driver, I know the streets, and how to get places. So when I was watching, they were driving from like downtown, and they drove across town to go across the 59th Street Bridge, and I'm like, there is no way they can coordinate something like that, what they did on the bridge, because there's always traffic, and there's always some kind of construction being done. So it's always never been able to kind of like do the thing you want to do or the train. So you're not able to even do that, So what ends up happening is that you are kind of like at the mercy of traffic stop and go. So if you want to like pull off some kind of like weird heist and foil the FBI, in their in their travels, what ends up happening is that you just really can't do it. Nope, you just can't do it. And so the reason why I say that is because when you have traffic in New York, it's unpredictable. You can't just do a high-speed chase, especially on the 59th Street Bridge, going from Houston up the FDR to the 59th Street Bridge to go onto 61st Street, and then coordinate to meet your crew so they can actually meet with you so they can pull off another trick. It's like, unless you have the GPS and you have the patience of Job to just sit there and wait and you're blocking traffic, then you're not going to be anywhere near position to do the thing that you're trying to do, and pull off the game. But then again, that's what it is. It's a movie. And that's what I tell my son that sometimes, with kids, we watch movies, and they're like, how is that possible? And I said, you know what? It's called a movie. It doesn't have to make sense, And they're just like, they get all mad, My son gets mad, and they're like, he's like, what? And I say, yeah, it doesn't have to make sense. It's called a movie. It's made of fancy. If it was real, it would be called real life, and, there's no credits in real life, So anyway, so what happens is this, right? You have this where, just kind of doing this thing with the train. I hope I don't I said I didn't want to outline it so much. I wanted to just kind of not to be outlined, but I find that the outline kind of gives it like that little extra. I just kill my marker. Extra pop. It's very definitive, See, the thing was, I was gonna make it like just a black, but I'm like, let me just give it that silver. Let it dry a little bit. I should let it dry. Let it dry. So, all right, folks. This is pretty much where I'm going to go right now with this. I have more stuff. I'm going to give you like an example of what it's going to look like when it's done. But no, I don't want to spoil it. I really don't want to spoil it. But I'm going to show you a little bit what it is because those who are watching are worthy of it. So I'm going to have this gremlin. He's going to be on top of it, right on top of the train, coming out of this window right here. So I've already made this gremlin. This is a gremlin 12. Oh no! Oh no! You see? This happens. Yep. See, I'm so excited about all this stuff. I go and mess it all up. That's what you do. So now, let's go ahead and just fix it up real quick. I have to put the paint on it. But okay, I'm gonna have the Gremlin. He's 12, number 12. Because when I started making Gremlins, he was the 12th one in the series. So what I'm gonna do is that I'm just gonna fix this up real quick. The black here, right? Fix that black up right there. And then I'm gonna let it dry better, and I'm gonna attach the Gremlin to it. Well, that's actually a Gremlin because it has 3 fingers. That's one of my Gremlin creatures. I'm gonna have to go back in and just kind of highlight some stuff with some white, make it even better, and then see if I can just get this thing. But this was one of the trains that I would normally take when I did my trips. When I started learning how to use the train system, and New York City train system, I as much as we complain about it, is I think it's one of the best. I'll say that because like to me it's the best because you get a chance to go everywhere for like $1. It used to be $1.50. Now it's like, even less than that. It used to be a quarter, but now it's like, it's $2.90. You can go anywhere in New York. And thank you, Chip. Okay, so what happens is that you have all the things like that. So you have the money being able to go up there, and you're able to travel all over the city for $2.90. And if you stay on the platform, you can actually do one trip, go there, come all the way back on the same trip, same fare. But for the most part, though, what happened? I'm just gonna show you this here. This is so I'm gonna flip the camera up a little bit so you see. This is what I started with, right? I did the designs, and this is the progress. This is the progress so far, right? Put this up, and this is the progress. All right, that to work on a little bit. I gotta just kind of fine tune some of the things. Really pop. Oh wow! Thank you, Amy. Thank you, Amy. So yes, the final product is gonna be there soon. So I'm gonna see how that turns out. I'm gonna like that. Thank you so much. Yay! Thank you, Amy, for contributing. All right, so cool beans. All right, so that's really cool. So can't wait to see the final art piece. I like it. I can't wait to see it. I know what it's gonna look like, but it's gonna be completely cool. I might have them pop out, the Gremlin pop out of the window, or I might have it just kind of in through. But I think maybe I might have it pop out just to give it that 3D aspect, and then maybe I might just give it an enhancement, have it just kind of everything pop out. And that's something that might be something really cool and significant. So it's gonna turn the camera up again real quick. You see that here? This is when I first started doing it. This is the translation, and this is almost the final, but it's not final yet. So we're gonna see how that works out and stuff too. So as we're 47 minutes in, thank everybody for watching. We're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna let this thing dry for a little bit, and I'm gonna go back and outline some of the basic parts. I'm wondering if I should even outline it at all, because I mean, like, some of the things are so nice when it's not outlined. I'm gonna go ahead and put some of the it's kind of like very, very like striking, but I'm gonna see if I could just go ahead and put some black ink there, and just kind of finish that up in between so that it doesn't look like just kind of an eyesore there. Yeah, it's kind of a black light. And this is here, that. Alright, so you have that. And there you have that. And right there is the color part of it. It makes it less striking, which is great. Alright, so that's a little bit less striking, so I like that. I'm going to go over again with the red. Oh, goodness, got the ink on it. Go over with the red and see how that works out. Let me make sure I didn't get any ink on the back of him. I might have. Alright, so we've got to fix him up too. So we're going to make him so he's a train gremlin. So you can be like, there's a gremlin on the side of the train. There's a gremlin on the side of the train. So like, that's kind of like the gremlin on the side of the plane. That's William Shatner. The first time that I ever came to light. Mr. Shatner. Ding, 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 from Twilight Zone. There's a gremlin on the side of the plane. There's a gremlin on the side of the train. So yeah, so cool beans. All right, my friends. I'm going to let it dry. And then I might come back to you later with some more art. I might do another sculpture, because I have another sculpture I got to work on. I'm going to take a break at this moment. It's 47 minutes. I'm going to come back a little bit later and see what else I could do. I want to thank you everybody for watching for my 50-minute video. And God bless you. And thank you so much. And have a good day, okay? So take care. And God bless. This is 7 Train. 7 Train. 7 Train. God bless you. Have a good day. Peace.